Have you ever wondered what happens when you simply vanish from someone's life? The hurt, the confusion, the anger, it leaves a mark, doesn't it? In this video, we're diving deep into the raw, emotional stages someone goes through when you disappear from their world. It's about understanding the impact of ghosting, the weight of silence, and the journey back to yourself. Listen, being ghosted, it's a punch to the gut. 1 minute you're there, the next, poof, you're gone. It's a wake-up call. A slap in the face that screams, hey, maybe things weren't as rosy as you thought. Suddenly, they're scrambling, trying to figure out what they did wrong, where they messed up. The control they thought they had, gone. Their safety net, shredded. And that's when the panic sets in. This isn't just about missing a text message or a phone call. It's about the absence of a presence that once filled your days with meaning and your nights with comfort. It's about the silence that now echoes where laughter used to be, the emptiness that replaces the warmth of shared moments. This is about the gaping hole you leave in their life. It's a void that seems to grow larger with each passing day, a chasm that swallows joy and leaves behind a lingering sense of loss. It's the realization that the person who once made everything better is no longer there to share in the highs and lows. They start to see the ways you added to their world, the energy you brought, the support you gave. Every little thing you did, every word you said, now stands out in stark relief against the backdrop of your absence. They remember the times you were there for them, the moments you lifted them up when they were down. And let me tell you, that void, it's not easily filled, not with distractions, not with new faces. They might try to lose themselves in work, in hobbies, in the company of others, but nothing quite measures up. The void remains, a silent testament to the impact you had on their life. It sits there, a constant reminder of what they've lost. It's a shadow that follows them around, a whisper in the back of their mind that never quite goes away. It's the ache in their heart that flares up at the most unexpected moments, reminding them of the love and connection that once was, and with that realization comes regret. Deep, soul-searching regret. They start to question the choices they made, the things they said or didn't say. They wonder if things could have been different, if they could have held on a little tighter, loved a little more fiercely. It's a regret that lingers, a constant companion in the void of missing you. Now they're digging for answers, grasping at straws. They're stalking your social media, grilling your friends, desperate for any scrap of information. It's like an itch they can't scratch, a question mark hanging over their head. They're trying to piece together the puzzle of your disappearance, but every dead end just fuels their anxiety. They're left wondering, have I been replaced? Was I not enough? It's a vicious cycle of doubt and insecurity. Deep self-reflection. This is where the real work begins. It's not just about sitting quietly or meditating, it's about diving deep into the recesses of your mind and heart. It's about facing the truths you've been avoiding. They're taking a long, hard look in the mirror, dissecting their actions, their words, their behavior. And it ain't pretty. This process is raw and unfiltered, revealing the parts of themselves they wish they could hide. They're forced to confront their own shortcomings, the flaws that have been festering beneath the surface. It's a moment of reckoning, where denial is no longer an option, the ways they might have pushed you away. It's a painful process, but a necessary one. Tears may flow and hearts may ache, but this is the crucible where true growth begins. Because in order to move on, they need to understand the depth of their actions. They need to see the ripple effects of their behavior, how it has impacted not just themselves but those around them. They have to own their part in the breakdown. This isn't about self-flagellation, it's about honest self-assessment. It's about recognizing the role they played and taking steps to make amends. They have to understand how their actions contributed to the situation. It's about accountability, folks. It's about taking responsibility for one's own life and choices and making a commitment to change. Only then can they truly move forward with a clearer conscience and a renewed sense of purpose. The urge to pursue you. In the quiet moments of solitude, they find themselves reflecting on the past. The memories come flooding back, unbidden yet vivid, painting a picture of what once was. They remember the laughter, the shared dreams, and the silent promises made under the stars. Each memory is a reminder of the bond that was once unbreakable, now seemingly lost in the mists of time. The fog starts to clear, and they're hit with a wave of regret. It's a heavy, almost tangible feeling that settles in their chest, making it hard to breathe. They replay the moments of misunderstanding, the harsh words spoken in anger, and the silence that followed. Regret is a powerful emotion, one that can consume the mind and soul, leaving a person feeling lost and adrift. They see your worth, the value you brought to their life. It's in the little things, the small gestures of kindness, the unwavering support, and the unconditional love. They realize now, perhaps too late, that you were the anchor in their storm, the light in their darkest hours. The realization is bittersweet, a mix of appreciation and sorrow for what has been lost. And they want you back. The desire to mend the broken pieces, to rebuild what was shattered, becomes an all-consuming urge. They dream of a future where the past mistakes are forgiven, and the love that once flourished can bloom again. Hope is a fragile thing, but it is also resilient, and it keeps them going, pushing them to reach out and try once more. They're reaching out, trying to bridge the gap, desperate to salvage what's left. Every message, every call, every letter is a plea for another chance, a hope that the connection can be rekindled. They pour their heart out, laying bare their soul, hoping that their sincerity will be enough to heal the wounds and bring you back into their life. But here's the thing, the ball is no longer in their court. The power dynamics have shifted, and now it's up to you to decide the future. They can only wait, with bated breath, for your response. It's a humbling experience, one that teaches them the value of what they had and the consequences of taking it for granted. They've gone from complacency to desperation, and it's a hard lesson to learn. The realization that they may have lost you forever is a bitter pill to swallow. They grapple with their emotions, swinging between hope and despair, as they come to terms with the reality of their situation. It's a journey of self-discovery, one that forces them to confront their own flaws and mistakes. They're at your mercy now, hoping for a second chance. The waiting is the hardest part, filled with uncertainty and longing. They stand on the precipice of change, hoping that you will find it in your heart to forgive and give them another opportunity to make things right. The future is unwritten, and only time will tell if their efforts will be rewarded with the chance to start anew. The crushing weight of silence. Silence can be deafening, can't it? Every unanswered text, every ignored call, it's a blow to their ego, a reminder of their failure. The silence forces them to confront their mistakes, their regrets, their loneliness. It's a heavy burden to carry, the weight of their actions amplified by the lack of resolution. They're left in limbo, haunted by what-ifs and maybes. It's a stark reminder that sometimes, silence speaks louder than words. The realization of emotional independence. This is the turning point, the light at the end of the tunnel. They're starting to understand that their happiness, their self-worth, can't be dependent on someone else. They're breaking free from that neediness, that desperation. And you know what? You disappearing, it was a catalyst for their growth. It forced them to face themselves, to build their own strength. They're realizing that they're capable of standing on their own 2 feet. Forgiveness, or the attempt. This is a tough one, folks. Forgiving you, forgiving themselves, it's a process. There's going to be anger, resentment, maybe even a little bitterness, but they're working through it, trying to let go of the hurt. They're realizing that holding on to that anger, it's only hurting them. It's about finding peace, about moving on, and sometimes forgiveness is more about them than it is about you. Rebuilding trust in themselves. Look, when someone disappears from your life like that, it shakes you to your core. It makes you question everything, including your own judgment. So yeah, rebuilding trust, it's not easy, but it starts with themselves. It's about learning to trust their gut again, to believe in their own worth. They're taking back their power, one step at a time. Emerging stronger. This isn't about forgetting you, it's about them rising above the pain. They've been through the fire and they've come out the other side stronger, wiser, more resilient. They're not the same person you left behind. They've learned valuable lessons about themselves, about love, about loss. And they're carrying those lessons with them, using them to build a better future for themselves. The journey back to you. Look, ghosting, it's a coward's way out. It's painful, it's confusing, and it leaves a lasting impact. But here's the thing. The person you left behind, they have the power to rise above it. They can take their experience, their pain, and use it to grow, to learn, to become a stronger version of themselves. And that's the most powerful thing of all.